I accidentally hit the wrong thing. Fucking started a stream completely fucking ass butt naked. Yeah, go back and remove the VOD. So today, I'm between what I want to stream actually. I did try out the other night. I tried out the Splitgate 2 VR. And it's actually kind of enjoyable. Sort of combines a lot of the best elements from all the different BRs, except for maybe like, I don't know, it doesn't really combine anything from, say, like Fortnite or PUBG or Warzone. It's kind of borrowing more from like Apex, what was that one that was really good, but they shut it down? Hyperscape. And not really a BR, but they kind of borrow from like Halo still. I feel like for this game, the Halo influence is a lot less. You gotta manage live. Eat that one. You get a 5% party up bonus. I have no need to really ever change my classes. I'm pretty much just going to be playing BR. Hello? Yeah. What's up, Travis? Uh, I don't know. I haven't really talked to him much today other than just fucking with him over text. I would assume he probably is, though. You what? His money. Oh, I forgot about that one. I was gonna go, but I don't really like any of the bands on it. The only one that I was mildly interested in was Hollywood Undead because I listened to him a lot when I was a kid. but they aren't going to be there, so unfortunately I just decided to back out. I'm still debating on if I want to go to the Date to Remember show that's going to be there. Uh, what, did you find like a bulk zip that you could download them all in? Okay. About to say going one by one would fucking hurt. And just doing like 12 ROMs kills me. Probably Clay Fighter. Literally is like a virus. So that's every pre-GameCube Nintendo first-party game? Hmm. Oh, that's only this. Oh, wow. I bet there's going to be a shit ton of Game Boy games. Like GB, GBC, and GBA. Hmm. Oh my god. Where you putting them on? Just for like storage. It'd be insane to throw every pre-GameCube Nintendo game on the Wii U. For the whole thing? Jeez. Hmm. Oh my god. Imagine like the dog shit games you could find buried in there. Mm. What? How'd they even get that shit? Oh, probably from the Gig Elite. Oh! It's such a tragedy that Mother 3 didn't actually come out on the N64 and it came out on the Game Boy instead. Which one got the enhancements? What the fuck? Super Mario Brothers 2 don't get the Japan version. That's just the lost levels. I buy all my games legit. Hmm. That's light work. I bet it's gonna be like 8 gigs. RIP. Yeah. What the fuck? Come on, now I just want to get this out of the bottom of the bag. I'm between if I want to play Splitgate or play Mario Kart. Oh shit. That shit about to turn into a emulation machine. That's what I always plan to do with my Series S. I plan to do like the developer mode and set up emulators on it, but I just never got around to it. Really? That sucks. Oh. I don't know. I might still do it because I honestly never even use that thing for its intended purpose. I actually never use it at all. And if I ever mess something up on it, it wouldn't be a big deal because those things get thrown around like whores in the fucking French Quarter. You can get a Series S for $100 easily. I actually saw some earlier. I was debating on getting one, but the ones that I saw, they're selling two of them with crack screens together for $50 instead of just selling one that was nice. That'd be sick if they had one for like $50. Yeah, 100 or over for it just feels like not even worth it because it's fucking um it's never gonna get used. Somebody's selling a regular Switch with Breath of the Wild unopened for 110. Hey, I want that. Oh my god, yeah, Zach is still at work. Does that mean he's closing 2 nights in a row? That's bullshit. Okay, I guess I'll play a match of this shit. Oh wait, no. I literally have to go get my food out of the oven. That shit could go for another 10. Mm-hmm. Luckily, tomorrow is Friday. I'm just happy that I don't gotta fucking work a long ass shift tomorrow. That's all I need is just one spill without a wet floor sign, and I'm a millionaire. Maybe not something that serious. Shit, honestly, breaking something might not be that bad though. And you get to be like bedridden, and you can just play the Switch too. I don't know. You might not want that. Disability checks are kind of ass. Oh.
Get ready to stick your landing. Drop zone inbound.
And fucking food stamps.
Drop initiated.
I wonder how much, like, for a family of, like, I don't know, like 3 or something like that. I wonder how much food stamps you get per month these days. Back when my family was on food stamps, we were getting like $7.50 a month for family of 5. Hmm. 2,000? Oh, I was about to say. Well, yeah, these days 200. You can't even fucking take one trip to the grocery store off that. Oh my god, bro.
Time to show them what you're made of.
How's your aim that crazy?
Your team survived.
Yeah, Jimmy movement nuts. You look fucking flashy, but you can't even hit a shot.
Sanctum open.
Chests have been upgraded.
I'm gonna need something better than whatever you just gave me.
Teams remaining.
halfway there. Way to survive. Nice work. Nice one.
Oh. That's right. Get the fuck up out of here. Oh, I don't have any heals.
Five teams remaining.
For the Nintendo 64. What's the precise on it? Because I was predicting 8. Oh my god.
Round 2.
Oh, well done.
Heating up. Portal EMP event is starting.
EMP event active. All portal walls in this world are temporarily disabled. Nice work.
World closing.
I guess it's not as bad as I would initially think, but it's still pretty beefy for it to be before 2000. Oh. That's all the games that released for it on.
Nice one.
So bad.
We're one of 3 teams left. Stand strong.
Where'd this dude go? No, I would think that he would be off by like 9 or 9:30, I guess. It's kind of stupid that they wouldn't let him off at 8 though. 'Cause, I'm sure he's probably been there. I don't know. He's probably been there since 12 or something. Or they might have changed how they do shifts at this point, since they did change the store hours to close at 9. Back when I was there and they closed at 10, they would schedule people to come in at 12 and then they'd get off at 10. Oh yeah, that's gonna suck.
2 teams remaining.
Only one other team left. Be on high alert.
Final round.
Airdrop incoming.
Final world closing.
It's actually fucking ridiculous how expensive the Express SD cards are. Yeah, I guess now that the Switch is making them the industry standard. That'd be much easier. I don't know why they don't now, because pretty much every phone, like new phones, all use eSIMs instead of regular.
Game over.
Tough loss. Shake it off and try again.
What? I don't know if they have it, but I always liked SNES 9X, I think it's called. Oh!
Get ready to stick your landing. Drop zone inbound.
I think SNES 9X was the one that it was developed by this like one guy, and he ended up dying of cancer. Lupin. Oh yeah, Mupin. Mupin. I remember that one. Back before they had like the phone, like the fucking emulators on the app stores on the phone. I think the one that I used for N64 on my phone was like Z64,
Drop initiated.
and it was ass. Jesus. Wait, is it gonna be able to like up-res them and shit? Okay.
Sanctum open.
I've always kind of liked the appeal of the Ally a little bit more than the Steam Deck. Yeah.
10 teams remaining.
Because, like, with anything that's not a Steam Deck, you basically, you start with, like, Windows 10, and you can
This
really
world is
just
closing. Better
get
be
on and
soon.
run Steam OS if you want to. Hmm. Yeah. I still haven't looked into the Xbox ROG thing. Oh shit! I got a fucking baseball bat in this game?
We've outlasted more than half of the teams who started.
I don't give a damn if I've outlasted anybody. I ain't even seen nobody. Hmm. Just enough not to destroy that shit. They sell like they have like a dock for the Ally, huh?
Round 2. Epic chest event is over.
They've got like a dock
Shake
for
it
the
off.
Ally,
Your
right?
teammates are planning to revive you. Airdrop incoming.
Five teams remaining.
You've respawned. Look alive.
Biome closing.
World is closing. Time to get a move on.
Are you fucking...
Only 2 opposing teams remain. We've got this.
Ooh, I will take this. Do I want this one or the fucking cadence? Guess I'll keep this one. Where's that sprinter? Look at that. Alright, I'm ready to find the last teams. Come on, Brad, no more pert.
Kill confirmed.
Final round.
Oh.
2 teams remaining.
Only one other team left. Play smart. Heads up, airdrop on the way.
I've had said only one other team remaining, play smart, and then my team just dives straight onto them. Damn it!
Kill confirmed.
Double kill.
Nice work.
Oh,
Payback.
damn it. Alright, we lost that match. Need to catch up on quests in Oblivion. 55% update.
DOCP. DOCP was kind of like a more band-aid between saying, okay, we've taken XMP kits and we validated them to run on AMD, maybe with some tweaked timings, maybe with some slightly different mega transfer speeds. However, they will work. Whereas AM5's Expo is a lot nicer because it's actually built from the ground up to work on AMD in the way that it's intended to. Now, to do this, you got to go into your BIOS, and that's scary for a lot of beginners. Obviously, I'm talking to beginners here because only a beginner would probably have their system memory not running at its maximum speeds. But I still advise all of you to go into your BIOS and at least check. Or if you're afraid to go into your BIOS, just go into your Windows Performance tab and then go into the memory and then see what it's actually running at right there, built into Windows. And then you don't even have to install another utility because oftentimes after some Windows updates or some failed restarts, let's say you had a weird power cycle or something and your system didn't boot right and went into system check, oftentimes the BIOS for ultimate stability, if the system did crash, will revert XMP and Expo profiles back to the base clock, which is about 4,800 megahertz on DDR5, and then not but not that we're not stable. And part of the revert process is to go back to load system defaults, which it'll do automatically sometimes without telling you. And then you're sitting there with RAM that's running under what you paid for. If you're going to buy 6,000 megahertz or more RAM and you're only running at 4,800, why would you pay the premium for having fast 6,000 megahertz RAM? Now, here's the thing. XMP and Expo are not guaranteed to run on your system. They are overclocks. They are overclocks of the memory controller, specifically on the CPU and the handler on the motherboard. So you might find that you enable XMP or Expo and your system starts boot looping. Then you're having to clear your CMOS to get everything to run again. That doesn't mean you can't still take advantage of faster than speed.
Yeah, you're over.
Because it is why are you playing the extra stress in the memory controller. So what I recommend doing is enabling the XMP profile. It'll automatically tell you what the new speed is. So let's say, for instance, you enable the XMP, it's a 6600 megatransfers kit. If you enable 6600 megatransfers and it won't boot, clear your CMOS, go back into the BIOS, re-enable XMP/Expo, and then manually set the speed from 66 maybe down to 64. If that works, run your system, play your games, do some stress tests, and if you don't get any weird crashes or way errors, WHEA, not WAY, then you're probably stable enough. If you start getting weird random blue screens, if you can't quite explain, your RAM is probably still not stable, or at least your CPU memory controller is not stable. Drop it down another 200 megahertz and continue that 200 megahertz increment drop until you find full stability. You may not get the full speed you paid for, but you're getting more than letting it run at base. And that works for both Intel and AMD. Now, we also know that if you're running a high-end graphics card or anything that can push a lot of frames per second, having the fastest mega transfers is going to benefit you depending on the games and resolution. So you are just needing performance on the table if you're not getting your RAM running as fast as it possibly can. Speaking of system crashes, that one just did. So I'll be right back. Now that transition ironically brings us into maximizing and optimizing your GPU's fan curve, which was not what was happening on that system over there. That's an old VGA card that only has the fan curve working with precision running. And the weird nuance with that one is only one fan works if precision isn't on. And so two of the fans weren't turning on and it throttled itself to shut down. So you guys saw in real time that it was trying to bring itself back to life. The fact that the FPS was dropping a lot because of the fact that it had to keep dropping the frequency to keep itself from melting to death. So that brings us into optimizing your fan curve for your GPU specifically and your CPU as well. Now, GPUs from every manufacturer are optimized for acoustics over cooling. Oftentimes, if you were to say take any of your graphics cards right now, doesn't matter if it's AMD or an NVIDIA card, even Intel cards, and put them on in your test bench or in your system, load up something like Heaven or any other kind of a looping benchmark stress test and watch your fan curves. You'll see they more often than not will not go any higher than about 60, maybe 65%. That means there's 35% extra fan RPM available to you to help keep things as cool as possible. Now you might be asking yourself, well, why do I want it to be as cool as possible? That's because all modern GPUs run some sort of a boost logic. And what that means is as the temperatures are lower, the frequencies can stay higher. It's all about this Venn diagram of power draw versus frequency curve versus temperature. And all three of those interrelate so that if any of those have available headroom to them, they can go higher. Frequency and temperature are directly linked with each other. And with modern NVIDIA cards, you start to lose boost bins as low as 45C. In most games, the second you load them, your graphics card goes higher than 45C. Now, modern NVIDIA graphics cards have a boost table that's every 15 megahertz. So after a while, you can actually lose as much as 100, 150, maybe 200 megahertz of overall performance. And with a modern NVIDIA graphics card, that's up to 10% of the actual frequency available to you. And 10% of your reduced frequency, believe it or not, does equate to just about 10% reduced frames per second. So it's actually a very linear curve when it comes to frequency percentage versus FPS. You lose 10% of your frequency, you lose close to 10% of your FPS. So there's a lot of performance left on the table.
Dude, how?
When it comes to GPUs, unless they're a giant, beefy, overbuilt cooler, even then, they're probably going to run even more silent than smaller coolers, which have to keep more fan RPM to keep them cool. You can keep extra frequency binning available to you by just keeping your card as close as
Oh,
possible.
oh my god. How does this dude do that? Fucking hell.
All of that hot air then it's also going to start to thermal throttle itself because that hot air is sitting there soaking into all of the components in your system, not just the graphics
Bro
cards.
hit every single fucking shot. That's wild.
Chipset, all of the BRMs, your CPU itself, all of it becomes hugely effective if the air inside of your chassis is not exchanged at a high enough rate to keep it as
And
cool as
it's the same
possible.
person.
Sometimes the best thing to do actually to get better GPU performance is potentially add more fans to your system. It may not even have anything to do with your GPU. You could go 100% max fan curve. If your case can't get the hot air out of your system, then it's also going to start to thermal throttle itself simply because there's going to be kind of a runaway effect when it comes to the heat. So not only optimize your GPU fan curve to get yourself the best performance when it comes to your GPU without even touching the frequency curve, make sure that your system can get that heat out of the system as fast as possible. So use a piece of software I love. I've done videos about it many times. It's called Fan Control. Now, I've had a lot of people message me and say, Jay, did you know that the fan control software is showing up as a virus? Well, that's actually because of the known WinRing Zero driver problem that was actually now identified as kind of an exploit, if you will. And all the RGB software and fan software and stuff for a lot of companies were based on the weak in the knees peg, if you will, holding up the entire infrastructure of RGB and fan control software known as WinRing Zero. So fan control also was utilizing WinRing Zero, which is why it was showing up as a virus to a lot of people with their virus software. So I would highly recommend too having your chassis fans tied to your GPU's temperature. That way, as your GPU temp goes up, the chassis can start to exchange that air quicker. Most of the time when you plug in in fact, just about every time when you plug your chassis fans into your motherboard, it's only going to take into account things that are on the motherboard, the CPU, the chipsets, the VRMs, and all that sort of stuff. And in games, we know CPUs are not hit nearly as hard as the GPU itself because the GPU is handling all of the processing of those frames. Well, that means that your system starts to get warmer because the fans aren't ramping up. The GPU fan starts to ramp up, but all it does is kind of keep it at the hottest temp it's already been at. And then you start to lose your frequency binning because of the fact that your case is not exchanging the air fast enough. So I highly, highly recommend utilizing any piece of software that allows you to tie your fans to GPU performance and CPU performance. Now, Fan Control is not endorsing this. It's a free piece of software. I did a whole tutorial on it. We'll try and put a link in the description below so you guys can watch that. But it's cool because you can actually do a dual curve that will allow your fans to respond to what the hottest thing in your system is. So for instance, if you're gaming, then your GPU is going to become the hottest thing in your system. The system fans will start to ramp up to exchange that air as fast as possible, keeping your frequencies as high as possible because the GPU will be as cold as possible. But let's say suddenly now you're doing CPU intensive tasks. Well, now your CPU will be the hottest thing and it will pay attention to the CPU fan curve you have set. So it's awesome because you're having to pick one thing for it to monitor, which is one of the reasons. Where did that start ramping up? It's all, oh, turn yourself up. And that one just started ramping up. I don't know why. These systems are listening. Anyway, it allows you to make sure that your system is always optimized for whatever is happening inside of it. And that is where so many of these big companies with their control boxes and stuff are really just sort of lacking and falling behind because of the fact that they're not doing that. So anyway, make sure that your curves are optimized specifically when it comes to fans. And guess what? If you optimize those fan curves, more often than not, you can use something like Afterburner or GPU Tweak or GPU whatever software comes with your graphics cards to start to be able to bump up those frequencies a little more and get more free performance with no additional heat. So that's one that a lot of beginners really seem to forget about is maximizing their curves. A lot of people like to just plop it in, turn it on, and forget it. Well, that's the best way to make sure you are getting the minimum amount of performance you paid for. Now, a couple of things to mention before we move on to the next topic. The reason why the CPU fans ramped up over there was because an update or something must have been happening in the background, which hit the CPU. So the system fans ramped up. You may not have even heard it because my mic is on this side of me, but that's a perfect example. The GPU has been running this entire time, but the system fans did nothing because it's tied to the CPU. So until the CPU did something, those fans didn't ramp up, which means right now we're not exchanging the air as efficiently as we could for our GPU. And if you're like me and I'm gaming, I'm either going to have headphones on or a loud game or something happening, which means I don't mind letting the system get a bit louder. So I would personally prefer to tune my system for best performance with acoustics secondary. Doesn't mean I would just take the fan to the maximum 100%, but I would at least make sure that I'm getting performance over acoustics when it comes to gaming systems. Now, another thing to mention too is you're going to use Afterburner and ramp up the fan and everything as nice and cool as possible. You might as well just maximize that power slider available to you as well, especially on NVIDIA graphics cards. because that's just going to allow you to be able to keep those frequencies as high as possible. Because now, if you've got your temperature as low as possible and your frequency as high as possible, the only other factor there that's going to limit whether or not your frequency drops is whether or not you've now hit a power limit. So if you increase that power limit 5%, 10%, 15%, etc., it's not going to make your frequency go necessarily higher. It's going to allow it to stay at its max frequency longer. This one here is going to be kind of a quick topic. This is more specifically directed for anyone that is running any sort of asymmetrical CPU. Obviously, Intel has been running asymmetrical CPU since 12th gen. We've got E-cores and P-cores. AMD has been running asymmetrical CPUs ever since the multi-CCD XD CPUs came out. That's where you have a high frequency die and you have a high cache die. As you know, the X3D CPUs have become extremely popular. And that is going to be having an improper Windows power profile set. That's hard to say. Windows PP power profile. Your Windows PP must be set properly.
Dude.
Is your PP powerful enough? If you're running specifically 7950 X3D, 7900
That's so fucking stupid.
X3D and 9900 X3D, you do not want your Windows power profile set to prefer maximum performance. Let me tell you why. I guess 9900 X3D and 9900X are kind of separate. That is because preferred maximum performance, when it comes to the lassoing of the processes, if you will, and lassoing of the CPUs and the affinity, is going to say, okay, let's always prefer max performance, which in the eyes of Windows is what is the highest frequency available to us. Now, if you're running an asymmetrical CPU like the X3D multi-CCD CPUs, the crash CPU die is always going to be a lower frequency than the frequency die. And that's by design, because games don't need the max frequency, but that cache is huge when it comes to gaming performance. But what will happen to the scheduler is if you set Windows prefer maximum performance, is it's very likely going to take your game process and throw it on the higher frequency die, which is actually going to lower your overall gaming performance, regardless of the resolution and regardless of the graphics card that you are using. If you paid for the X3D, make sure you are using the X3D. Now, this does not apply to people that are running single CCD X3D CPUs like the 9800 X3D, 7800 X3D, 5800 X3D, 7600 X3D, any of those, because there's only one die. Just make sure if you're running an asymmetrical X3D CPU with multiple CCDs, you do not want preferred maximum performance. On Intel, it's not quite as bad because it's smart enough to know that the performance die is always going to be the preferred die. So if you enable max performance, then what's going to happen is it's obviously going to put the games on the P cores, or the P die, what's called it, the P cores as often as possible. Now, on the flip side, if you were to put it in an eco mode or like total low power setting, there's a chance it could take your games and throw them on only the E cores, which is very rare, but it has happened. And you want to make sure you're not doing that. So it's kind of like the reverse opposite end of the spectrum, where if you have it set to too efficient, then you rob yourself of performance, because although the army of E cores do a really good job with games, they are not equipped to handle the task by itself. You want the P cores obviously being very active, because we don't want those P cores deactivated in games. Another mention when it comes to games, this is why it's specifically when it comes to drivers and GPUs, this is why the latest NVIDIA drivers being so poorly written and causing blue screens and crashes and all sorts of other things. Make sure your drivers are up to date. But I also would maybe do some research to determine whether or not you should hold off a little bit before you update. But specifically, if you're playing the newest titles that are out, almost definitely are you required to update your graphics driver. Otherwise, the game may not even load. You may get a message that pops up that says, error, you are not running the correct driver to run this game. Please update the latest driver. Then, unfortunately, you might update your system with a bunch of issues because NVIDIA seems to be able to write the correct driver these days. So you might be causing yourself some performance. Also, if you're running an older title with a new graphics card, there's just drivers as a whole fun video to talk about all by itself, but making sure your drivers are up to date is also the best way to make sure that your graphics card is running the way that it's supposed to. Theoretically, if the driver is not complete trash, like NVIDIA has been giving us for about 6 months now. So AMD, though, actually been pretty solid. Isn't it funny how the turntables, you know? All right, we got an honorable mention here when we talk about GPUs before we move on to the biggest honorable mention. And that is to also make sure that your monitor, if it's a high refresh rate monitor, meaning it goes above 60 FPS or 60 hertz, make sure that's turned on. Like, it is crazy the amount of people that still post on Reddit that they didn't even realize their monitor was not set to high refresh rate. Now, that also tells me they've probably never seen anything high refresh rate, or you would have noticed it immediately, unless you're like Nick, who literally does not notice anything above 60 FPS. go ahead and cue all the human eyeball cannot see above XYZ FPS anyway, and tell you how you're wrong, but that's fine. Hopefully, I just triggered some arguments down there. Fight. Okay, now the last thing we're going to talk about here, this is more an advanced thing. This is not so much a beginner thing, but we're going to talk about virtualization-based security, or VBS. VBS is something that became huge when we talked about Spectre and meltdown exploits and vulnerabilities when it came to Intel CPUs, and it was great because AMD was like, haha, sucks to be you. And then the vulnerabilities were found on AMD, and Intel's like, oh, what were you saying? It was actually affecting all CPUs going back generations of CPUs. And this exploit was actually around for a long time, especially when it comes to Spectre and Meltdown. But virtualized-based security or virtualization-based security, I'm not going to go into a super deep dive on this, even though I have a lot of notes in front of me right now. Basically, it protects against credential.
I got a free fancy fucking litter box.
Was it a robot?
Yeah,
Mm.
it's called the litter robot.
Oh shit.
I need to go directly to the troubleshooting section.
Who we got up in here? Tay-Roy. Zach's working till close.
Till close.
Yep.
Means he gets off in like an hour.
They close at 10 again?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
For now, until time changes again, then we start closing at 9.
Oh, that's weird. It was there at 8. He
Oh,
could
God.
have he could have been getting off at that time. I don't know. He didn't seem like it though.
I gotta be there at 5:30.
He's closing again tomorrow night.
Whack.
Yeah. It's kind of dumb cuz he was going to come to Brady's birthday party. Oh shit. The demo's out for Tony Hawk. Releases July 10th.
Okay, so what it says for that error code is unit will not cycle, contact customer service.
I'm guessing they put it back together wrong.
Oh, that dead ass got me over here wanting to go ahead and pre-order this $50 game. It's actually kind of sick though. You're gonna be able to play as you're gonna be able to play as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Doomslayer.
Press the power button to switch off the device. Number 2. Unplug. Disconnect the power cable from the base of the letter. Take off the bonnet, the top cover. Lift the globe, the rotating sphere of the base. Ensure it's placed safely. Number 4. Prepare the base. Place the base on a stable surface away from obstructions. Empty the base assemble, ensuring it fits onto the head securely. Put the device on. Start a cleaning cycle. Activate the call sensor by pressing the globe above the entrance. The red LED should light.
That told me nothing, Indian.
Oh wait, there's 2 playable levels in the demo. Oh, what the fuck? If you want to play as Doomslayer, you gotta get the digital deluxe, which is 70.
Gay, no thanks.
But you get Doom music in the game.
Hello guys, welcome to channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to hard
He
reset.
got me. It was a white guy in the thumbnail, and it's an Indian talking to me.
First of all, you have to start by unplugging the Little Robot 3 from the power outlet.
Try turning it off and back on again.
Bro. Okay, this is a white dude and a black dude. Okay. Saved.
Hey guys, welcome to
I thought it was gonna be a bunch of old white women.
and I'm Josue, and we're both domestic robot specialists, real robot doctors. Oh yeah. And today we're gonna show you how to replace the cat sensor on the Little Robot 3 Open Air.
Okay, I don't need to replace the cat sensor. Oh my god.
You're gonna learn how. They're gonna teach you all about how to do it today. This has literally been the longest fucking update I've ever experienced in my entire 25 years on this planet. Who we got?
What up?
What's up, B Lake?
What's up, Jordan?
I'm just sitting here trying to download this stupid update.
Nice for what?
Oblivion.
The best game in the world, Fortnite?
Yeah, the best game in the world, Oblivion. Elder Scrolls.
Oh god, that's crazy. Crazy work.
Also sitting here debating on if I want to pre-order this $70 game.
You probably do.
I don't know that I want to do that.
I would bet on it.
Jared apparently already pre-ordered it. He's playing it right now. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3
Are you
plus
fucking
4.
kidding me? I've been asking him to just get on Call of Duty for like a year. And he's like, man, I can't spend $70 on a fucking game, man. I just can't do that.
He is not going to get on no Call of Duty.
I ought to pimp slap his bitch ass.
I wonder if
told him I'm
he...
fine.
I wonder if he
Go ahead.
pre-ordered it digitally, though, because if he pre-ordered it at GameStop, all he had to spend was $5 to get the demo. But if he did it
Gotcha.
digitally, then he had to pay for the whole game up front. Actually, he's not even at his house. He's here. Wonder if that's Matthew that's playing it. Would make sense that he would though, because he doesn't really like good games.
Who, Jared? Jared don't like good games at all. What do you mean? Jared hates good games.
Nah, Jared doesn't like any good games.
Jared don't even like fun no more, dude. I haven't been able to fucking see him. He barely does anything. About to
He,
excommunicate him.
he doesn't even play Minecraft off of creative mode.
Don't shock me, dude. We haven't gotten a coffee together in the morning in fucking months, dude.
Not the coffee.
We used to get coffee at Grin every single morning for 7 a.m.
What happened?
Jared's retarded.
Oh,
No, just with work schedules because I start work at 7.
hmm. Oh my, why the fuck is shipping $10?
Because it wants to be.
That's stupid. On the TikTok shop, they're advertising a 27-inch 2K monitor with 165 hertz refresh for $45. Oh wait, no, the 27 hertz or the 27 inch is 100 actually. 22 is $45. I don't even think I'm gonna get to play a game tonight.
Okay. You have to disassemble it to actually manually put it back in the right spot. So I'm sure that's what they did. It's just they didn't get it back together correctly.
These chamoy pickle things have gotten very out of hand.
Right here. All right.
I'm bitching Zach out right now.
What, being at work?
Yeah, I'm telling him that he stood us up.
Dude, tell him.
Alright, what does it mean if just the timing light is flashing? Cat sensor fault. Well, it didn't have a cat sensor fault. Now it's got a cat sensor fault. This is a giant pile of shit, Troy. I assume this is the cat, right? That's the motor. What is the cat sensor? That's what you wait. Let's see no such shit.
How cheap a key for Starfield is these days. Damn, still $30. And it's 40 for Steam. What the fuck? They need to stop all this $70 game bullshit. I feel like nobody buys $70 games.
Alright, maybe now I need to watch this video on the fucking cat sensor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just put it back together fucking wrong.
I mean, that's what they said. They said they were pretty sure they put it back together wrong, but didn't know how to how to fix it.
Me with my mental health.
Who the fuck said to move me, Jordan?
I thought that you wanted to be included.
I just woke. No, that's a lie. I've been up. Oh shit.
What's up, Kiki?
Yo.
Why? Hold on. Let me fix my mic.
You have something you want to tell Blake?
Yeah, I need like a celebrity appearance at my birthday dinner.
Yeah.
Like,
Who you thinking?
I was thinking about this popular actor named ABGR Little Corey, but I don't think he's gonna pull up.
Dude, you should like get ISO speed to come up and like y'all race or something.
Nah, he's gonna dust me, bro.
Yeah, he's pretty fast.
He'd like dive into the fucking TV that's showing the UFC fight.
Hell yeah. Sounds fun.
I was thinking since I didn't come to the bar that one time, you should show up.
Nah, dog. I only show up for people that show up too.
I
Bell.
bet. I bet.
Only show up for people that'll show up and show out.
Really, bro?
Yeah, dude, you got to start showing out if you want us to show up. Or else
Hey,
we
bro.
can't show up because you didn't show out.
Could someone spit some bars for Juneteenth, bro?
Denver can.
Jordan, take it away.
Denver?
What?
Spit some bars for Juneteenth, bro. He was trying to get me to do it last night.
No, I can't rap. That's all you, bro.
All right, give me like 4 words and I'll spit like some bars for Juneteenth.
Orange, door hinge,
Dictionary.
particle.
Yeah, I'm not finna spit no bars with those shitty ass.
Biomass.
Ostrich.
Fucking, hold on.
Pusillanimous.
Yeah,
Come on, Harry Mack. Let's see it.
Okay, wait. Let me. hold
Bro
on.
is definitely not
Biomass,
Harry Mack.
Indubitable. I can't say that word, but fuck it.
Indubitably?
Yeah.
Indubitably got the doobly. I pull up with the motherfucking Kubley like I'm Kublai Khan.
Nitrous. No, it's not funny.
I can't spit bars right now, bro.
Okay.
Appreciate the effort, though.
I think Brady needs a therapist.
I'm sick.
What?
I'm actually fucking sick, bro.
What happened?
I don't know. I think I got like AIDS from the people we're playing basketball with. I don't need a therapist when I got Corey. Corey's the perfect therapist.
I think that'd be the reason you should need a therapist.
Nah, you know what he tells me? He just tells me this. He tells me to drink Woodford Reserve when I feel bad. Occasionally, some Maker's Mark.
When literally anything is going wrong for anybody that's not him, his first instinct is to tell you to lock in.
Who is that?
Corey.
You just gotta lock in, dude.
Knowing good and damn well underneath his teeth, he's fucking holding on for dear life.
He's scared.
He's scared of what the Doble might do to him.